Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It is Sade here. Now, in today's video, I am going to be doing something that I'm absolutely terrified to do, and I don't know why. I think it's because it actually requires some sort of skill, which I clearly do not have. First off, before we get into anything, please follow me on all my socials, and please make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you get more content like this. So in today's video, I am going to be making what I call a booty vase. I don't know what the correct terminology is for these particular vases. However, I do know that there is a brand called, bear with me one second. So there is this brand called Anisa Komichi, and their vases, they're called the Love Handle vases. Love Handle terracotta vase, this one. This is $413. Yeah. So that's probably about £340-ish. So yeah, I don't have that kind of money, but I want that kind of lifestyle, right? So I'm gonna make one. Now, can I just say a disclaimer? Trust me now, if I had $413 to pay for that vase, I would, and I would buy multiple because I want them all over my house. That is the inspiration. I just want some sort of gorgeous vase that I can display in my home and not break the bank with. Shout out to them. Please go and check out their website in my description. This is the Das modelling clay, and it's an air dry clay. You can't let it dry too quickly, and you can't use it in really thin little strips because it's water based, I think. As the water leaves, evaporates or whatever it does, it shrinks the clay and therefore it can crack. I'm actually going to go get a chopping board so that I can do this on, because I don't think this is going to be the best surface. BRB. The other thing about this clay is because it is water based, even after it dries, it is sensitive to water. So if you were to spill water on it, or you were to put water back on it after it hardened, it would, I think, eventually turn back to clay again. So we're going to have to seal it, and that also means if we're going to be using it for something that is to do with water as a vase as intended, putting water inside, putting plants inside, it's not going to hold its shape and its form. Therefore, we're actually going to be moulding it around this glass. I have learned that you should put lotion on your hands before you start this so it doesn't stick to your hands as much. I also love how much belief I've got in myself because I'm wearing new clothes that I literally bought today to do this. Who cares? I'm going to open this up. This is what you need to get in here. I think you've got to kind of work with it for a little while. That feels good. Jeez, that's taken me 3-4 minutes just to kind of smush this bit together. Feels good. I'm absolutely boiling. Oh no. It doesn't say you have to do anything in particular, so I'm just gonna leave it at that and just kind of mould around this now. I think this vase works pretty well because I don't know if you can see, but it kind of mimics a waist and then hips. So I'm gonna try to take enough clay that I think would work around there. And then I'm actually going to start to flatten it out together like that. What I did see one guy use, his technique was to use water to adhere it to a surface. Actually, it probably makes more sense to wet the clay, but in fact I'll just wet both. So this is just a tiny little sponge wooden thing. I got them from either Amazon or eBay, so I'll link it down below for you guys. And stick it on the outside. I've maybe wet it a little bit too much, but what I actually might do is create a kind of a lip at the top. So I'm not going to go too far over because I know I said this kind of reactivates with water, but just to hook it over the top, I'm going to start to press this clay just so it has something to come to, but also it creates a kind of more seamless finish. It's holding up quite well on top. It looks not too bad actually, and the fact that it's not perfect and smooth, I actually think is quite nice because not all bodies are perfect and smooth either. I'm literally now just going to do the same thing as what I did and just do it on the lower half. The small one kind of covered the majority of the vase, and now we can use the larger one to start to create the handles and the hips and the legs. So I'm literally going to do the same thing again, take a bit off, mould it for a couple of minutes, my poor hands, and then start to stick it on. This is looking... I'm doing that thing. I'm jinxing it. She looking kind of thick on one side or whatever. I mean, she's from this side. She do be looking thick. Slow dancing in the night. Yeah, I wake you up inside. I have run out of clay and it's also getting quite late, so I don't really want to continue much more tonight. What I don't want to happen is for her to kind of like dry out over the night, so I've just dampened this towel and I'm just going to drape it over the vase. That will keep a lot of the moisture that's in the clay so that I can basically continue working on it tomorrow. Anyway, it's day 2, so I left this damp towel over the top of Our Lady, and she's definitely not dried out. I think she has hardened a little bit in places. I just went over to the range and picked up some more of the air modelling clay. I picked up these modelling tools. I think these were like £3 or something. You can carve things, you can create textures. I got these popsicle sticks. You can buy these, they're £1. You know, like when you're building a cake with loads of tiers and you put the sticks in the middle just to give it structure. That's the idea with this. So what I might do actually is start with the butt, because it means when I put the legs on, then I know what I'm creating is stable and it can stand by itself, and I can add more clay or take clay off where I need to. Whereas if I start with the legs, try and add the butt on, and then it starts to lean back because I've given her too much butt, then we'll have a predicament. So I'm going to start with the butt. I think that's a good idea. I think, I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to making the actual like bum cheeks, you're gonna just have to like grab them to mold them. I've been trying to like smooth it out with my finger just to like not make it weird, but you just have to grab them. Okay guys, so it's been about a week and 4 days and I've left this to dry out thoroughly. It feels solid and there's not been a lot of cracking, which is great. This little section at the front here has had a wee bit of a crack. It feels really good and it's held its shape really well. So I've actually just been to my garage because I remembered that I had some tester paint pots there, and I've got this Hessian colour by Rust-Oleum and it's a chalky finish paint. I've also got these paint pots that I usually get from B&Q from the clearance section for 50p. So this one I've used a lot before in the past. Definitely going to need a shake though because the oil seems to be separating. And then I've never used this one yet, but I've bought it. I always buy them just for little projects like this, and it's this nice colour again. I think that reminds me of Elephant's Breath by Farrow & Ball. So I'm just going to go in and sand down the exterior of the vase. Just want to make sure that we're removing any major lumps and bumps, and hopefully it's also going to give a good surface for our paint to adhere to. So this is that first pot that we've got. Now that I'm painting it on here, it is coming up quite yellow toned. It's quite an olive but neutral colour. The next colour, this is quite like a mushroom colour. Really like this actually. I really like that. I love them both together as well actually. I think they're such a nice duo. And then the final one is that Rust-Oleum colour, and this looks a little bit lighter than the middle, and it in fact looks like the perfect colour. They're all such a nice colour palette. I don't know which one to choose. I think whichever one I use I'm going to have to mix with white anyway, just to make it a little bit lighter, because they're all a little bit dark as far as I want them for now. I think I'm going to mix this colour with some more acrylic white paint to make it a little bit lighter. There we go, that's coming to the perfect colour. So now I'm going to go in with some baking soda and just add this in little by little. I think you're meant to put in part by part. I'm not really sure how it works, but we're just going to go in and just sprinkle some in and see what happens. I'm actually just going to start to paint that straight onto the vase so that we don't waste any time, because I think if you leave this a little bit too long it starts to go a funny texture. So let's just slap it on.